Next up, as I scroll through the slides real bit and fill time, we've got a very exciting app that I think you guys are going to be quite interested in. And to introduce the folks behind it, we're going to bring up someone from ChipChick, who will wait as I continue to click through this to get to the right slide. I can go through my other choices on that buffet quiz. I got none of them right. Okay. Now, to introduce the presenter for a perfect bake, I'd like to call up from ChipChick, Helena Stone. Helena, come on up here.
So not everyone can bake. I've burnt out my kitchen at least twice trying to bake. And what the judges liked about this app is that it's for everyone. So whether you've never baked before or whether you bake all the time, you can become a master baker with Perfect Bake.
So you're probably saying to yourself, wow, baking is, a baking app. Why is that so cool? Why is that so important? Well, baking is this, or I should say baked goods is the staple of our diet. It's the foundation of our diet. It has been for thousands of years, dating back to the ancient Egyptians. The baking industry. Are we getting? Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Jumped ahead of ourselves a little bit. So, as I was saying, baking, very important. Been the staple of our diet. It's the foundation of baked goods. It's been the foundation of our diet for, again, thousands of years, dating back to the ancient Egyptians. The baking industry worldwide is a $300 billion industry, but it's not without its issues. Baking is a science. If not done properly, it could lead to a disaster. Perfect Bake was designed to eliminate these potential disasters. This is done because we actually utilize a smart digital scale along with your smart device. Perfect Bake will allow anybody, whether they are a pastry chef or have never baked before in their lives, to bake perfectly every single time, guaranteed. Perfect Bake comes with hundreds of preloaded recipes. You can search by categories. We have everything from cakes to cookies. We have breakfast. It makes unbelievable ice creams. New recipes are uploaded all the time. Let's say you have that family recipe that's been in your family for generations. You can actually load that in by adding in that recipe as well. Let's say you're having a little trouble figuring out what to make. Utilize the pantry feature. The pantry feature allows you to tell Perfect Bake what you have in your house. It will then tell you what you can make based on the ingredients that you have on hand. Today, we're going to make the Neiman Marcus cookie. You press Bake to take us into the baking section. The app will tell you every step of the way what to do. Right now, it is telling me to turn my oven on to 350, and it's also asking me to take this green prep bowl and put it right onto the scale. Once it's on the scale, it automatically tears and automatically calibrates. It's now going to tell me the first ingredient to pour, which is going to be chocolate chips. Now, I've got 500 of my closest friends here, so I'm actually going to rescale the recipe to make 500 Neiman Marcus cookies. All right, I may not have enough chocolate chips, so we'll just go back to the default, which is 24. Now, all I need to do is just pour the chips into the bowl, and as you can see, it will measure in real time as I pour. Another interesting situation. What happens if I run out of chips? Well, I can't make all 24 cookies, but what I can do is now rescale the recipe to that amount of chips that I have, which will be 21 and a half cookies. Okay, we'll have to share, all right? Fine. So, now that I've rescaled, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next step, which is dry ingredients, which is now going to ask for the blue bowl. Put the blue bowl on. No more measuring cups. No more measuring spoons. Measuring cups and measuring spoons, traditional ways of measuring, is not precise. It's inaccurate. You never can scoop the same amount of flour. A plus or minus 5% difference in the amount of flour will actually destroy a recipe. All I do is pour directly into the bowl. It tells me exactly when to stop. Next, a little bit of sugar. Automatically advance to the next step. Now, when we get to a little bit too much sugar, I can actually take some out if I wanted to. Now it's going to ask me to combine all these ingredients into my mixing bowl. Mixing is actually very important. So we actually give you mixing times because you don't want to undermix and you certainly don't want to overmix. And once we're done mixing, now we get to portioning. Another common mistake in baking is people don't necessarily know how much to actually make the cookie dough. So we actually take your cookie tray or your muffin tin or whatever it is that you're making, you place it right on the scale. Then you take your dough, you roll it up, and if you can match that white arrow into the green area, that will tell you that that cookie ball is about the right size. Guaranteeing that everything's going to come out perfectly every single time. So, that being said, we have our perfect bakers who actually stayed up all night making you guys 500 Neiman Marcus cookies, which we actually made with the system, who are going to pass those out to you guys. Hope you enjoy them. Thank you very much. Thank you for your consideration. John?
Oh, thank you. Perfect bake, everyone. And he left the chocolate chips up here. What a mistake. This is fantastic. Wow.